Hello. Hello. Welcome to our second ever. I guess it's technically not annual until after the second one. So, Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. We did this last year. It was a lot of fun. We're doing it again. This is part of the group that is the International Thespian Society here at school. Our chapter, yeah. The International Thespian Society is a huge organization all over the world. It is an honor society for students of theater. And ours was chartered in
November 11th, 2002.
November 11th, 2002. I did know that it was 2002. And we are chapter 6514. It has been going strong for many, many years here. This year we have a small but mighty group of 8 students. We had a huge class graduate last year, and we've got some really strong freshmen and sophomores coming up that will definitely bring us back to our big numbers. Most of our troupe is actually here tonight. We have been doing this for the last 2 years to raise money for the Karl and Soma Legacy Scholarship. Miss Carolyn Soma is here. If you don't know who Carolyn is, she was my predecessor and the director of this program for 20 years. I thought it was 21.
Oh, no.
18. Okay, I don't know. We're theater people. We don't do math. When she retired, I was lucky enough to take after her, and I thought the best way to honor her was to do a scholarship in your name. So last year we raised $750 for a graduating senior. It went to Grace O'Brien, who was our president of our chapter last year, and had been doing, she was one of the few students that had done ITS for all 4 years. So tonight we have probably raised close to $375, $400 between ticket sales and donations. So that's a great amount of money to start the year with. So hopefully we'll be able to match the same amount that we did last year or more, and keep this going every year for as long as I can do it, at least. So I hope you enjoy. It's a very, very short show, about 15-20 minutes long. But it's funny. Enjoy, laugh along. They may interact with you. Please interact back. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. We won't pull anybody up here like we did last year. So, but feel free to get up during the show and get some more to eat, get something to drink. That's fine, and enjoy.
And,
yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I have to say something.
Oh, Lord.
Of course you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Deb Eward took over at the most difficult time. It was the year that COVID took over. What this woman accomplished with the kids, I am in awe of. And she deserves so many kudos.
Literally my job. So I wouldn't do it any other way. Thank you, Carolyn. And enjoy. I'm gonna just bang! Bang!
Hi there. I'm sure you wonder what's going on. I can assure you it's not as it first appears. I know, a butler, a gun, a body lying on the floor. You may have even heard some gunshots earlier. Yes, he was murdered, but it was someone else who shot him. Perhaps I should better explain. You see, while the course of events ended here only moments ago, they began hours before. Others had all been called here by Mr. Walters. This is his house. By the way, that's Mr. Walters right there. This is rather complex. Perhaps it would be best if I just take you back and let you watch the course of events yourself. I could never do the story justice in my own words. Imagine it's now earlier this evening. As I said, others had all been called to meet with Mr. Walters and... oh dear. Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters. Steve, you need to get up.
You're supposed to be Deb.
I know, but they came to see a story unfold, and we can't very well show the events of how you were murdered with you lying in the middle of the floor,
But
dead.
I've been shot.
No, see, it's earlier now. You won't be shot for some time yet.
They won't be upset if a dead guy just stands up and walks away?
They'll understand. They came to see a story, not to watch you lie in the middle of the floor. Go ahead and get up.
I wasn't really prepared for this. I was expecting to be dead.
I know, but it's for the best.
What do I do now?
To start, just wait in the other room.
I hope you know what you're doing.
So do I. As I was saying, others had all been called here by Mr. Walters. This is Betty Dewberry, an old flame of Mr. Walters. She still intends to marry him, but not for the right reasons. And this is Jennifer Jones, Mr. Walters' business partner. Lydia Compry, Mr. Walters' current fiancée. He loves her, and she loves his money. And finally, there's Preston Lavender, Lydia's friend. Enough said. So there you have it. You've met everyone. And with that, I give you the murder of Stephen Walters.
How should I know why we're here?
You're his business partner, and you're his fiancé.
Would you two quit your bickering?
And I certainly don't know why you're here.
Well, I was the future Mrs. Walters before you were even in the picture.
Was is the key word there.
Ladies, please.
Must you bring him everywhere?
I was invited, just like you.
Yeah, I bet you were.
As you may have gathered, these folks don't exactly get along. They never have. To be quite honest, they're not the easiest of people to get along with.
Who's he talking to? I don't know. Who are you talking to?
The audience.
Oh, that's just great. Go ahead and spoil the illusion.
I'm simply trying
You're ruining the story.
You've broken our pace.
I'm acting as the narrator, just as I'm supposed to.
And I suppose next you'll be telling them what happens next.
They know how it ends.
What?
They know how it ends.
Then what's the point? This is supposed to be a mystery. How much mystery can there be if they already know how it ends?
Well, it's true they know how it ends. They don't know who did it, only that it was done.
Isn't that like a big part of the mystery?
It can be, but in this case, the real mystery is who, not how.
So they don't mind knowing the end up front?
They're still here, aren't they?
That guy at the third table has shifted in his seat 3 times already.
Yeah, I think they're about to bolt.
They won't bolt if you guys stick to the script and keep the story moving along.
Oh, so it's our fault now.
I'm not saying that. As I was saying, others had all been called here by Mr. Walters, and there isn't much love shared amongst any of them. To be honest, they hate each other. But in that hate is the one common thread that brought them here today. As much as they may despise each other, they all hate Stephen Walters even more.
I don't understand you keep talking to the audience like that.
It's been done for thousands of years. It's called an aside.
A what?
An aside. Theoretically, when I'm speaking to the audience, you all aren't supposed to hear me.
Oh, that's just silly. How can we help? We're right here. Why wouldn't we hear you?
You don't understand. Of course you can hear me, but you're supposed to go on as though you can't. The aside is an opportunity for me, as the narrator, to speak with the audience. It's almost as if I'm having a personal conversation with each member of the audience. Shakespeare used asides all the time. It's like the chorus in the ancient Greek plays.
But this isn't a musical.
Just because there's a chorus doesn't mean it's a musical.
Then why would there be a chorus?
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Then get on with it. We've got a story to tell.
Right, the story. Where were we?
You were about to tell us the purpose of a chorus.
Not that story. I meant this story, remember? The murder and all?
I, for one, don't feel like we can continue until you explain this chorus business and that aside thing you keep pulling.
I'll have to second that one.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to hear what you were on about.
Oh, good heavens, what about the audience?
They've already paid their money. How do they know this isn't the show they came to see anyway?
Because we already told them it was a murder mystery.
Oh, right. Well, I want to know what this aside is for. Chorus if they're not going to sing.
Folks, please bear with us for a moment. I promise this won't take but a minute, and we'll get back to the story. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
As I was saying earlier, as the narrator, I will often speak to asides to the audience, much like the Greeks did in their plays thousands of years ago. But there, they used what was commonly known as a chorus.
But they didn't sing?
They could have, in some cases, but it wasn't the delivery that was important. It was the message.
What was the message?
It would depend on the story. What's important to understand, and how this relates to the asides you've witnessed today, is why they were there in the first place.
Well, why were they there?
First and foremost, to help the story move forward.
Why not just let the characters move along the story through dialogue?
They probably could, but when a story is very complex, it would take hour after hour of dialogue just to set the stage for the events about to happen. But if someone, or a group of people, a chorus, were to fill in the information and details as the story goes along, the audience gets all the facts, and then the most important parts of the show can be played out on the stage through dialogue.
I don't get it.
Yes, what are you talking about? The chorus, or in this case, a narrator, will provide information to the audience that may not be readily apparent, but are still important to understanding the story as a whole.
But why do you keep talking to the audience?
To help the story move ahead.
Sounds like a way for you to get some extra lines in and try to upstage everyone.
That's not happening. All of my lines have been written by the playwright. Every line, stage direction, and aside has been thoroughly thought out and written down, and in order for the story to work, must be followed precisely.
You do seem to have a lot of lines. And some of your speeches are even leaning towards soliloquies.
That's not true.
No? Then how come you keep speaking every time and then we have to play round robin?
I don't know. I'm just an actor doing my lines as written. If you want to take issue with the quantity and occurrence of your lines, talk to the writer.
Maybe you already did, and that's why you have all the good lines.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. We have to get back to the story.
Yeah, easy for you to say with the leading role and all.
I don't have the lead role.
Oh no? Then who does?
Well, I would say it's Steve.
Steve is the lead, but he's dead.
Not yet, he isn't.
Yeah, not yet, I'm not.
But he will be, and he hardly has any lines.
Yeah, what about that? I have more lines than Steve.
The quantity of lines is not the only factor in determining the lead character.
Now, what are you talking about?
The number of lines spoken is not the only factor in determining the lead character.
Then what is?
The lead character is the one who gives all the other characters a reason to be there.
This is way too technical.
I'm bored. Okay, we've gotten way off track again. We must get back to the story, the one the audience came to see, and try to entertain them to the best of our abilities. Remember, every part of the story is important to the whole, no matter how large or how small.
Whoa! Was that a shot at me?
No, I'm just trying to get the story back on track, and at the same time, appease your delicate actor egos.
Oh. Okay.
May I continue now?
Yeah, go.
And you're okay with me being the narrator and speaking in asides to the audience?
I'm not happy.
Thank you. Actors. Now, where was I? Right, thank you. As I was saying, there is no great love shared amongst any of these people, and they had all been called here by Steve, for reasons yet unknown.
But I know why.
What are you doing?
I felt it my responsibility to interject and draw attention to myself, being the star and all.
Oh, the star! Now I've heard it all. Next you'll be telling us that the only reason these people are here is to see you.
I mean,
That's it. That is it.
People, please, just calm down, Lydia, and you, get off the stage.
Yeah,
May I get you anything? May I get you anything? May I get you anything?
Are you talking to them or us?
To you. I am the butler after all.
Oh, right. No, I'm fine.
Anyone else?
No.
Actually, I think I'd like a root beer.
What?
I said I think I'd like a root beer.
You're supposed to say no.
How's that?
When I say anyone else, you're supposed to say no.
I am?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
But I'm thirsty. What?
You need to get with it, Jennifer. We have a story to tell here.
But I really am thirsty.
You know what? So am I.
People.
Me too.
People.
Now that you mention it, I'm kind of thirsty too.
People.
I'm thirsty too, John!
People! What are you doing?
You asked us if we wanted anything to drink, and we said no.
As you should.
But we actually are thirsty.
But you're not supposed to be. It's not part of the script.
Oh, really? And what has been part of the script so far?
I don't think this is the time nor a place to go into that. We must finish telling the story.
Are you gonna get us something to drink?
No, I am not going to get you something to drink.
Okay, I gotta do everything myself now.
What I am going to do is try to keep the story moving along, no matter what the rest of you try to do.
I don't even have room here. All I do is pull the strings.
Right. We ought to step back on track.
None for the rest of us?
And with that, I shall go.
Jennifer, I believe that's your cue.
My cue? Oh, right. Before you go, why did Steve have us come here tonight?
I'm only the butler, and to that I do not know.
And as the narrator,
To that I cannot say.
Eustace, let's vote.
We've been waiting here 10 minutes now, and we still haven't seen Steve. I wonder if this is one of his elaborate pranks, and he isn't even here.
He wouldn't. Would he?
He might. He loves to make us suffer and show that he has complete control over each and every one of us.
he certainly doesn't have control over me.
That's what you think. I don't even know why you're here.
Because Steve wanted me to be here, dear. And I'm pretty sure it's for reasons other than my presence.
What was that?
What do you mean?
That little comment just now.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Well,
Yes?
I was just trying one of those asides, you know? The ones that John was doing earlier?
Oh my God. This whole play has turned into one great farce. We might as well just walk around babbling incessantly for 15 minutes and send these kind people home.
What a swell you are. I think you're jealous
Jealous? Of what?
of my superior acting and ad-libbing abilities that I've used to carry you and this whole entire cast of this play.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
I've seen you, all of you, looking at me in awe.
If that's short for awful, you're right.
Well, you.
Ah, more superior ad-libbing, I see.
That's it. You apologize.
I will not!
You make him apologize.
Apologize yourself!
Freeze! This is the police.
I've got you all covered. The police? You're the police officer.
I know. I just always wanted to say that.
You know what?
It's just a play, guys. Put the guns down. You have so much to live for. It's just a play.
Thanks! Well, this is where you came in. The gunshots, the body falling, the butler with a gun. With a little mystery, a little suspense, and a little humor, this has been the murder of Stephen Walters. It's been a pleasure having you here to share our story with you today. And we sincerely hope you've enjoyed being here as the audience, as much as we, as the actors, have enjoyed you. Thank you and good night.
Say two things. First things first, I didn't do any of this. This was all them. I said, here's the play we're going to do. Go and do it. Rehearse. The first time I actually saw it was this afternoon, and I was like, good job. Let's do that again tonight. I wanted to introduce everybody to you so you know who they are. This is Megan Manchester. She's actually not a member of ITS yet, but she will be this year. She played Lydia. This is Liana Mao, right? I said it right this time. Yes, I said it right this time. I always say it wrong. Liana is a junior and played Gertrude last year in Seussical, and this year she's one of the narrators in A Christmas Carol. So is Megan. They're both narrators in A Christmas Carol, which is happening December 2nd and 3rd, by the way. Little plug. And she played Betty. Halida Cora is our president this year of ITS. She was the sour kangaroo last year in Seussical. And is the ghost of Christmas Present this year in A Christmas Carol. Hunter McNulty Hotberg is, who we played our vice president of ITS this year. He is playing a lot of roles in Christmas Carol. He's playing young Scrooge and the nephew, and I'm sure I'll throw him into something else, but he's doing a great job. And he, of course, was Steve Walters. If you got his autograph, you can sell that on eBay for $3. Sally Quinlan. This is actually Sally's first time on the stage here. Our backstage tech stage manager. Basically, I say, can you do this? Can you run this? Thank you. That's awesome. I'll talk to you later. She's very talented, and I love having her. And you are, I forgot to say what year. You are like all juniors. Yes. Except for and Megan Bork, who is our secretary of ITS this year. She's not in Christmas Carol, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. She's doing Seussical somewhere else, and when is that?
It is November 17th through the December 3rd.
Yes, which is why she couldn't do Christmas Carol, because she liked Seussical so much when she was a bird girl last year that she's going to go do it again somewhere else. And I'm all for that. I love having them be with me, but if they can spread their wings and do theater elsewhere, that's awesome too. So wanted to introduce everybody. One more round of applause.